Thursday Night Tailgate, where the spotlight is always on the positive. Tune in Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time to hear your favorite NFL legends, players, and coaches sharing their stories. Now back to Chris and Bob.
I wouldn't joke about anything else that happens here tonight.
All right, now back in making his 17th appearance, second most all-time appearances here on Thursday Night Tailgate is NFL Stats Guru and a member of our 2015 Hall of Fame class, Russell Baxter. No one knows more about every team and every player that's probably ever played the game of football than Russell does. Please check out his website, profootballguru.com, online, and give him a follow at BaxFootballGuru. And you can also find his work on fansided.com, NFL Spin Zone, and WBLZ. And we are honored he is back with us again tonight here on Thursday Night Tailgate. Hey, Russell, Chris and Bob here. Thanks for taking a few minutes to join us on the show.
Yes, as things are going rather quickly with the draft, to be honest with you. Just kind of slip-sliding around here and so on. We saw 4 quarterbacks in the top 10. And if I'm looking at the screen correctly, I think the Saints have now moved up in a trade with the Green Bay Packers. I hope I'm reporting that accurately.
So give us your thoughts. Surprised with the Baker Mayfield going number 1? It felt like it might have been somewhat of a smokescreen or a misdirection run, from Cleveland, but it ends up he is, in fact, the number 1 guy. Your thoughts on Baker Mayfield at 1?
Yeah, I think it was one of those, hot names in the last 24 hours. I think John Dorsey was obviously very impressed with him. I thought, I kind of stuck to my Saquon Barkley guns all along that he would be the number 1 pick. I still think he's the best player in the draft. I think he will help the New York Giants immeasurably, and hopefully they help him out with some better offensive line play as well. We know the Browns' legacy with the quarterbacks. The 28 different starters since 1999, 88 and 216 win-loss record over that span. They haven't a winning season since 2007. They haven't been in the playoffs since 2002. I mean, it's all gloom and doom. But getting Baker Mayfield also enables him to learn behind a couple of veterans, Tyrod Taylor and Drew Stanton, who are there now. I think the thing that John Dorsey was looking for as much as anything else in rebuilding the quarterback core, and you look at several teams this year, Minnesota, Arizona, Cleveland, they didn't need a quarterback. They needed quarterbacks, okay? And that, Deshaun Kaiser's now with the Green Bay Packers. Jacoby Brissett was traded to the Jaguars. So a couple teams redid their entire not Jacoby Brissett, I'm sorry, Cody Kessler went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Teams redid their quarterback core. That's the point I was making. It was something the Browns needed to do. And again, I go back to the Tyrod Taylor acquisition, because the one thing about the Browns, they played respectable defense last year, but they turned over the ball, guys, 41 times. 41 times in this day and era is an unheard of number. The Broncos had 31 a couple years ago and won the Super Bowl, but they had a hell of a defense. 41 and 28 of those by Kaiser. And, just for people not putting down the rookie, but Tyrod Taylor had fewer turnovers in 3 years in Buffalo than Deshaun Kaiser had last year. You're not going to develop an offense if you don't have the football. So John Dorsey from Green Bay, where they took care of the football, from Kansas City, where they took care of the football, and Baker Mayfield now will not have to be rushed into the process.
Surprised at where they went at number 4 with Denzel Ward at cornerback from Ohio State?
Well, listen, I love Denzel Ward in A Soldier Story. I thought he was great in Training Day. Obviously, I think it would have been tremendous. Do you imagine if Denzel Ward got been drafted by Tennessee?
Indeed, that would have been a story.
Yeah, listen, the Cleveland Browns, and I don't have to tell you this, any team that lines up in the AFC North better get all the cornerback help they can get. Okay, Antonio Brown, A.J. Green, Baltimore's redoing their wide receiving corps, but now they have Michael Crabtree. Okay, so you better get some cornerback play, and the Browns last year certainly gave up their share of touchdown passes and have over the last couple of years. It's an area they addressed in the offseason. But if you're going to play that Greg Williams aggressive style of defense, you better have some guys who can cover.
Bob, questions for Russell?
Great to speak with you again, Russ. And I have to pick your brain about the local teams here. The Saquon Barkley pick, obviously the Giants, like you said, probably the best player in the draft. Does that come right out and say, Russ, that they have confidence that Davis Webb might be their quarterback of the future, or do you think it's still too early to tell?
I don't. My guess is that they're not thinking about quarterback of the future yet. Okay, I mean, Pat Shurmur comes in. He's done a lot of good work, obviously, with quarterbacks. Throughout his coaching career, I know he was a head coach with the Browns. Basically, look at the job he did with Case Keenum. Let's be honest here. I mean, Eli Manning has had an erratic career, but he's also had a very successful career. I know that sounds almost contradictory, but there's only one person in the NFL who's knocked Eli Manning out of a game, and that was Ben McAdoo, and he got knocked out of a job.
Good point.
I mean, 210 consecutive starts in the regular season. There's something to be said for that. Okay, and I don't think it's time yet. I don't know if Davis Webb is the heir apparent in a couple of years. I'm not sure. But I know that Eli Manning has been putting up respect. Now, last year, 19 touchdowns, 18 turnovers, 61.6 completion percentage. Don't worry, I don't have that memorized. I looked it up about an hour ago. The thing to keep in mind is it's about balance in this league. I know people are still preaching quarterback, but Saquon Barkley can run, he can block. Okay, that's why I thought Cleveland made a lot of sense, because riddle me this, Chris. Can you think of a running back that Todd Haley might have had recently who can run, catch, and block?
I've heard Le'Veon Bell is pretty good at that.
Yeah, rumor has it. So, I find it very, very interesting. But listen, I think, they've got Carlos Hyde in Cleveland. They're, obviously they're not done. They've got, 5 of the top 65 or 66 picks. So, I mean, running backs are still out there as well. Cleveland needs guys to take care of the football. I just think Barkley is a cut above. And, I said this earlier a couple of times, so I'll say it again. If Saquon Barkley would have gone 1, so be it. But the fact that people were poo-pooing the idea that a running back should go 1, but it's okay if he goes 2. So you're telling me, in essence, that the difference between greatness and mediocrity is 10 minutes. Is that what you're telling me?
True.
Right.
I just don't understand that. I think we get far too caught up in where a guy gets taken, okay? A lot of that has to do with the need of a team, okay? The New York Giants have been screaming for a running game for a number of years, okay? This isn't a recent development with them. So, Barkley, I think, comes in and instant offense, instant credibility. Listen, this is not a small – this is a 235-pound back as well.
Russ, how about the other team in the Meadowlands, the Jets? I mean, now they got Darnold and obviously McCown there. Going to try to groom this guy, I guess. But those other 3 guys on the roster, Bridgewater and Hackenberg and Petty, you talk about a logjam. When all the smoke clears, is it just going to be McCown just tutoring Darnold? Is that the plan there?
I think so. I mean, I really do think that's going to be the plan, and I'm not sure where Teddy Bridgewater really kind of figures in here. And I think Petty, they're eventually going to wash their hands of Petty and Hackenberg. And I know Hackenberg was a second-round pick not too long ago, but I think the worst thing you can do – I'll go back. Chris, I'll focus on your favorite team. Back in 1991, which, proved to be the last year of Chuck Noll's tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they drafted a kid in the first round named Huey Richardson. Bill Cowher took over and quickly realized he couldn't play on the pro level, and they cut him. They cut him immediately. I think that sends a sign, if you're not, just because you're a first-round pick or just because you're a high pick, if a team keeps you, I think it sends a signal to the rest of the team that maybe you're not totally convinced that it's all about winning. And, again, I've seen Christian Hackenberg hasn't played a lot. He played in a preseason game last year that reminded me of George Plimpton in Paper Lion. And you might be the two old guys I can get away with saying that to. So. And by the way,
Indeed.
George Plimpton in Paper Lion. I'm talking Alan Alda in Paper Lion.
Wow. Okay. Russ, I know you only had a few minutes to join us. You're in high demand tonight, and it's a busy night for you. Before we let you run, remind our listeners of all the places that they can stay up to date with the great articles that you are writing and the great things that you do.
You know, I'm so busy tonight, I've forgotten who I write for. So, I'm just kidding. I'm putting out some stuff that I pre-advanced, and my colleagues are helping me at Fansided with some grading of some of the high picks on Fansided. But I give you, you know me, I get the standard Liam Neeson line. Follow me on Twitter. If you don't, I will look for you, I will find you, and I will follow you back. And if you follow me on Twitter, honestly, you'll get everything that I write because I'm very proactive, as you guys know, on Twitter, and proactive with getting my stuff. Now, I mean, you go on the website, profootballguru.com. You go on the Facebook page, Pro Football Guru. You know, when I think of you, I think of Sports Positively Speaking, which is a page I also have on Facebook. We also have NFL Equal Rights. That's WRITES. We invite people all the time if they want to share their articles and so on. But I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you understanding the time crunch. If you want to do something next week, we'll have fun because my mock draft will be completed by next Thursday.
Gotta do
yes, we look forward to having you back next week, and we'll recap.
Yeah, and if I get anything wrong next week, then I know we have issues. So.
Indeed. Russell, thank you for a few minutes of your time. We'll catch up with you next week, my friend.
I will talk.
All right, you got it, sir.
Take care.
All right, thank you, Russell. That is the great Russell Baxter, and again, you'll find him all over the net. Fansided.com, NFL Spin Zone, WBLZ, ProFootballGuru.com. He's, like he said, if you follow him on Twitter, you're going to find all the great things that Russell does.